Hello there, it's time now for SME on Point. The Public Investment Corporation says it's looking to invest in non-bank financial intermediaries that are focused on rural and township development. It has issued a request for proposals that meet the minimum requirements to be considered as potential partners in making investments in rural and township economies. The PIC says this RFP is aimed at building its pipeline of intermediaries who are focused on these areas which are rural and township development. I've invited Mr. Pane. He is the Executive Head for Research and Project Development at the PIC to tell us more about this RFP. Laki, welcome to SME on Point. Thank you so much for making time to chat to us. Perhaps before we start about this tender that you have issued, let's talk about a short overview of the rural and township development strategy and how you are using it to promote and develop businesses in the rural areas and townships.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much for having me. Also, good afternoon to your viewers. Look, I mean, as perhaps to kick off, if you look at the township economy, there are about 800,000 to about 1 million businesses that are operating in townships. The township market is estimated at over 900 billion, and there's quite a massive funding gap for these businesses, and that is estimated at about 350 billion. And this market is just too big to ignore and to exclude financially. Hence, the PIC has decided to take this step and now look at partnering with intermediaries to enter this market. It's not the first time that PIC is doing business in these markets. In fact, we've got quite a number of investments across different sectors within township and rural areas. One would be our retail, our property retail portfolio that's estimated at more than 4 billion. Our agri portfolio is estimated at more than 17 billion. We are also invested in hospital groups that operate in peri-urban areas. I think now we are now saying, let's also consider the smaller businesses that are operating in townships and rural areas, and we will do that by partnering with non-bank financial institutions.
Yeah, this is a major step, and one that is so much more needed. We talk so much more on the show about the need for that. But perhaps let's talk about the request for proposals and the criteria. People may be watching us and thinking, we think we can actually do this, but let's hear from you what they need to bring to the fore.
Yeah. Look, I think it's also quite important for people to understand that we are looking to partner with intermediaries that are already operating in these segments or in these sectors, and they need to at least have 2 years experience of servicing the township and rural market or businesses operating in these markets. It's quite important because we are seeking players that have a track record. The market is quite established, and it's quite key that they already have a model. Because we are interested in deploying capital, we can't be working with those that are going to try and enter. So we are looking at intermediaries that are already there, that are doing the work, that have a track record.
That will basically hit the ground running. Without interrupting you, perhaps in the interest of time, Lucky, I'm sure also our viewers are thinking, what are the monitoring mechanisms? We know about the lots of corruption that is often related to tenders, and we don't want one day in future, sometime in future, to be going back to say, oh, remember that RFP that PIC issued, there's this that doesn't work, or there's this kind of corruption that's taking place. How are you putting in monitoring and monitoring of corruption mechanisms?
Yeah, look, I think in the last few years, PIC has actually done quite a lot to improve its governance processes, and those processes will also be applicable to this RFP. And maybe just to mention a few things, PIC has established an ethics office, which is part of the investment process of the PIC. We have an oversight from our audit committee as well as risk committee on the investment decisions that have been made or that are being made in the business. Also, I think what we have done in the last few years, there is a decentralization of power in the PIC.
Yes.
Not a single individual makes investment decisions, but it is a collective.
Yeah.
There are committees where the transactions are approved. We will be doing quite a thorough due diligence of the applications that we'll be receiving, and a multidisciplinary team will be a part of that. We also have our internal audit that does live audits on all the applications as well as on all the transactions that PIC processes.
Lucky, thank you so much. I'm pretty sure that those that are watching are happy to hear about those mechanisms that are in place. And I hope that if you're watching at home and you know that you fit this criteria and you're able to put in that tender, please do so and let us know how the application process is going. And if you do get it, also do let us know. We are on SME on Point on Facebook. That's where you can have a chat with us. And in a short while, we're going to be looking at a very nice a waste bin project that has been done outside of Boksburg. But for now, we say goodbye to Lucky Pane, who is with the PIC. To this now, an ambitious electrical infrastructure and construction graduate from Limpopo who's residing in Boksburg in the East Rand has found a way to venture into entrepreneurship after failing to secure employment in his qualification. And as we know that unemployment in our country is in a crisis mode, with rates among young people reaching quite alarming levels. He started a small business, but while doing so, he found a way to use his electrical skills to invent what he calls a waste waiver beat bin. This is a dustbin that doubles as a speaker system, and he has invited us as SME on Point to his place selling to view his invention, and our producer Bianca Nguna went to see. Take a look.
A 27-year-old entrepreneur and inventor, Adolf Mohlala, started selling electronic accessories like phone cases, watches, adapters and power banks immediately after graduating from West College in 2024. After completing his electrical infrastructure and construction qualification, he struggled to find employment, and that is where his idea to start selling began. He started selling on the side while applying for jobs to avoid having no income.
Now I'm not working. I'm self-employed. That's why I started a business. So at least I can sell and push life. Because life is very hard. There are no jobs. So I decided that since I'm still applying, I'd rather just start with a small business and also support the community. Because now it's winter. I also sell socks and hats so that people can get warm.
While he was busy selling electronic accessories, he realized he wanted to expand into selling food. Food like vetkoeks, samosas, snacks and also coffee. But he didn't have a proper setup. That is when he came up with an idea to turn a bin into a food stall, since he needed something to carry his stock. Since he's always been passionate about electrical work, he decided to be creative and mix his skills with his hustles by creating a waste waiver beat bin.
I have passion for electricity. I have passion, like since from young age.
I have had a passion for electricity from a young age. The skills I gained from TVET College helped me a lot. Because right now, I was able to create a bin and it's doing well. I already have 7 orders. 7 people want this bin. So that's why I came up with the name Waste Waiver. Actually, the waste part is because the dustbin carries waste. And the waiver comes from the sound, the speaker.
Waste. Then waiver, it comes from the sound, speaker. That is why waste waiver.
The waste waiver beat bin is not only a bin with a sound system. It has many features that can be used by local sellers or even in more public places.
This is the screen. So screen say.
This is the screen. This screen will work to display everything. I will put a computer box and it will switch on. You can use it to watch movies. On this side, we have a speaker. I used my actual speaker and broke it apart to install it on the bin. This is the mic. I added it so that people can lip sync for TikTok content. And this here is a power supply. It powers both the screen and the speaker. And this is a spice mixer. When I sell chicken feet, this is where I'll mix the spices.
Adolf says hustling and selling is all about the community you come from. He says the community always supports him and they're always happy to see him walking around with a bin and the music playing. But like many young inventors, Adolf faced a lot of challenges while creating his invention. He says getting materials was one of the biggest issues because he had no financial backup. And what he needs most now is support to grow.
I need funds
to make more dustbins so that I can put them on the market. If I can get funding, I'll be very happy. Because right now, I'm really struggling with money. If I get funds, I'll be fine.
With his waste waiver bid bin, Adolf Mohlala is proving that innovation doesn't need a factory, just a vision and determination. This bin can be used by vendors at taxi ranks, schools or any public spaces of selling. It can also be used by DJs, as it's not only suited for food but also has DJ features. Adolf believes that hustling should be fun. His invention can do a lot for hustling with its features, depending on what you want to do. And at the end, whatever you do will have music on it to enjoy your hustle. Bianca Nguna, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Wow. How exciting is that? If there's one thing about SME on Point is that we will plug you with all these innovations and amazing entrepreneurs. If you are out there and you are able to help Adolf to make his dream so that he can multiply this, please hit us up on our Facebook page at SME on Point and we'll put you in touch with him. And while we're at that, remember to support Adolf and others in your communities. Let's make those rands and circulate. At the top after this, I'll be recapping your top stories. All right, a recap of our top stories for today. Police Minister Senzo Mchunu has responded to allegations by KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Commissioner Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, which linked him to corruption. Mchunu says he will await the Judicial Commission of Inquiry established by President Cyril Ramaphosa to give his side of the story. And as you can see on the side of your screen, the Lotto Powerball today stands at a whopping 77 million rands. You have a chance to win that tonight if you play.